How are you?
Very good. I'll just turn this around.
Alright.
Right, still good. Oh, you're fine coming, but I'll stop you.
Good day, Bob?
Yeah. I just come from a very overcast and chilly Cradle Mountain area now.
Oh, mate, it's always
Beautiful
chilly
sun. Hey, I'm thinking, I was thinking of taking that road. Is that one alright?
Ah, that's for Oliver's. Well, when we come through, they had a fire up there on the weekend.
Yeah.
The road was closed. But if you keep going along, there's a turn off to Paradise.
Okay. Alright.
And that brings us back out through Mole Creek too.
Right, okay.
Yep.
So that'll be like, yeah, go up through Gowan Park or whatever it is.
Yeah, just go a bit after Gowan Park. Yeah.
Almost like going to Sheffield, just about.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't miss it. It's on a bit of a straight. Signs there.
Promised Land sounds alright.
Oh, Paradise, whatever it is. Yeah. Paradise, mate.
Cheers, mate. So I've just spent a good hour or two in Sheffield. Still technically in the northwest region. And of course it's the town of murals. Murals everywhere. And it is a beautiful little town. I've had a look in a couple of, or in one real estate window, and it's quite an affordable place. So Sheffield has become the first tick as a potential. It's got some lovely surrounds, undulating hills, farmlands, mountain views, all that kind of thing. It's a very open and I don't know, it's just beautiful. Palm trees, looks like we're in LA. Beverly Hills. And as you can see, a dramatic backdrop of rocky crags and cliffs. Winnebago! I may just upgrade to a Winnebago one day. Alright, well, I'm going to now head for the Great Lake. Heading south towards the Great Lake. I'm going to turn off the vehicle for a moment and look up some free camp options. And by the way, I got a new hat. I got a hat in Sheffield.
Your destination is on the left.
She's a rocky drive in. Whoa! Shake, rattle and roll. I'm assuming I can get to the lake's edge here. Where to go, where to go? Should I go across there? That could get boggy. Why don't we have a look? I can do this. I'm a four-wheel drive after all. Nice grassy spot and a ready-made fireplace. Let's do this. We're turning into this little spot here. There we go, we made it. And a perfect spot right here. Oh, that's a bit wet. I'm backing out of that. This will do just fine. I'll jump out and show you my vista for the night. Here is my vista. There's a bloody great big lake in the middle of the Central Highlands plateau of Tasmania. Who would have thought? Here we have a ready-made fireplace. I feel like I'm in a little bit of Highlander Rob Roy territory. And just picture, well, mind you, that was much more, probably a little bit more picturesque. But I can just picture that stone cottage with the thatch roof right here. And apparently I'm about over 1,000 metres above sea level. So it should be a cool night. I think it's high time I got my afternoon coffee going. I'm having a wonderful trip so far. Wonder if I can catch a fish out of here. Let's try the old Tassie Devil lure in Tassie. And I just lost my Tassie Devil. Give the old Celta spinner a spin. See if we can't lose that. Wind is dying down, which is good. No doubt this is where a pair of waders would come in handy. All looks pretty shallow here. Or a kayak, or a boat. Oh, that's stuck straight away. Oh, I'm going to have to walk this one off. Whew. It's way too cold to be out here fishing. Wind has died off beautifully. And we're getting a little bit of colour in the sky now. Turning into a beautiful evening, albeit cold. Don't worry fellas, I'll take your beer bottles out for you and dispose of them thoughtfully. Just in the middle there, I'm using dried animal dung and a little bit of fluffy stuff. I'm hoping it's good firelighter. Alright, bit of cardboard and paper here. That's nice and warm. Turning into a very peaceful night. Oops. That wind really likes to swirl around. Go away, wind. Don't bother me. Oof. Almost got eaten by flames. There we go, now I've got some heat. Now the wind's going that way. Well, good morning. I thought I'd do one of those fake wake up and say, well, good morning scenes that you often see the North American dudes do out on their camping videos. I'm not naming any names. Well, it's very light in here. I have, it's almost 8 AM. I went to bed at 9:30. That is a lot of sleep. Well, I better get out and greet the day. Alright, I guess I'm going to have to get out and set up a light from the vehicle shot. Because it ain't going to set itself up now, is it? Alright, let's do it. Oh, what a beautiful morning. What a beautiful and calm morning.
a little past 8 AM. That was a pretty massive sleep. Probably should get the coffee on the boil. I have to remind myself that I am in no hurry. I can hang out here for a little while, relax. Just down the road is a lake called Penstock Lagoon, of which my mate Dave told me about. So I'm going to have a go at my first serious go at fly fishing, and I'm going to be terrible, I just know it, but I'll give it a go. Stupid man alert. Stupid man on deck. Okay, I don't mind admitting it. I made a big mistake. I thought I could plough through a little bit of mud, but it was quite sinky and I got stuck. Now I have no phone service out here. I may get some if I walk to the road. I'm not sure. But fortunately I'm surrounded by an abundance of rocks, and I've been shoving rocks and digging under the tyres and shoving rocks everywhere. It hasn't worked, so now I'm jacking up the vehicle, and I've got a really big slab rock which is quite heavy to try and get under the tyre if I can jack it up enough. Problem is I have to keep adding rocks on top of rocks because every time I jack they sink into the mud a bit more. But it's getting better as I go along, and hopefully it's only the two back wheels. The two front ones aren't as deep. Lessons to be learned. Carry high quality recovery tracks for a start. Don't go through a little muddy section where you could go through a more grassier type, rockier type section. And a winch. Have a winch on your vehicle. That has become a priority. I'm sure I could have hooked the winch up to something. Anyway, time to get out, if I can. Well, it's amazing where help comes from sometimes, huh? Thanks to a friendly bloke called Shannon, a little over the ways fishing with his young family. He came over and basically, as I was moving forward, he placed rocks in the strategic places under the wheels, and I managed to gun it out of there onto hard level ground. So, big thank you to Shannon. Actually, doesn't live far from me in Gippsland, Victoria. He lives in near Glen Maggie. So yeah, small world. If you ever happen to be watching this, Shannon, thanks mate. Got me out of a rough spot with no phone coverage. And yes, I've learnt many lessons. Number one is I need a winch on my vehicle if I'm going to go anywhere by myself. Number two, I need a high quality set of recovery tracks. And maybe a better shovel than the one I've got. It wasn't too bad, but I was very fortunate that I was surrounded by rocks. And I could throw a heap of rocks into the path of the wheels. So that's the Great Lake, Tasmania. Had to happen sometime. First time I've ever gotten bogged. And I've been through muddy stuff before, but very sinky mud. Alright, well, now it's on to have a look at Penstock Lake, or Penstock Lagoon. One of the recommendations from my workmate Dave. And I'm just looking at the lake there in the rear view mirror. Beautiful big lake. And what time are we? Yeah, it's coming on to 12:30, past midday. Well, it's kind of thrown this day out. I may just stay at Penstock, or I'll move on and find a caravan park and hole up for a little while. Use a bit of 240 volt power, get things charged and all that kind of thing. Alright, now I just got to negotiate my way out of this very, very rocky pathway in. Well, here goes nothing. Me having my first ever go at fly fishing. Probably won't look too pretty. I did just see a black snake sunning itself. Scared the crap out of me. I'll totally avoid that. I gave it a red hot crack, Dave. Well, if you're watching this, Dave, I gave fly fishing a red hot go for at least 10 or 15 minutes. Really, it was just all about getting my form in. Of course, I was never going to catch a fish, and I probably started a bit late, being that it's 10:24 in the morning. So I've got to move on from Penstock now. However, you almost got me killed because I walked upon a black snake. I would say a red-bellied black snake. Quite a decent sized one, sunning itself on the rocks at the dam wall. Scared the crap out of me, but not so much that I couldn't train my camera on it and get a couple of shots. So yeah, there's another reminder. Whenever you're walking around in the Aussie bush, keep your wits about you. You never know where they are. Okay, it's time for me to move on. I'm heading towards Hobart now. I'm going to sit back, have a look at a certain route and decide which way to go.